to the channel. So I've got some footage for you today on a trip that I went on last year. In September last year, I got a phone call from a good friend of mine, Tessa Whittock, basically inviting me to go and be part of the first all-female stunt team in Saudi Arabia. Obviously an amazing opportunity, not one that you get every day, so I jumped at the chance to basically go with her. So we went to Three Sisters in Wigan for a quick shakedown, and really just to make sure that it's something that I could do. I've done plenty of drifting in the past, but I've never done stunt driving or synchronized driving or anything like that. So it put my mind at rest, sort of, that I could gel with the 350Zs that we were going to be using, and got me ready for the full day of practice that we went to do at Santapod shortly afterwards. And that was just a week before we actually left. So yeah, one full day of practice at Santapod, really just to get the routines down and make sure that we all gel with each other and that I could drive a 350Z like that, because I'd never actually driven one before this opportunity. So yeah, we did a full day at Santapod, and it was myself, Tessa Whittock, Ames Hill and Gina Walker. Tessa's a Driftworks driver, Monster Energy athlete. Ames Hill has been drifting quite a while. She's got an array of savage cars and she's done competitions and things as well. Gina Walker's actually a rally driver from Scotland, so that was lovely to have somebody that I'd never actually met on the team before. So it was great to get to know her as well. And yeah, so basically a week after we were at Santapod, we flew out to Saudi Arabia together, and we started the trip, which was basically, we had 2 days of practice, which was fairly hit and miss. There was sort of some times that we could practice and some other sort of quieter times where we were actually just walking the routines instead of driving them. And then we went on to do 3 shows a day for 6 days, and it was absolutely amazing. So the show that we went to was called the Riyadh Motor Show, and when we first sort of got there, they were just still setting up the show. It was about 3 days before it started. So we just got there, had a look round. It was absolutely massive, this place. And yeah, just got to grips with where the 350Zs were, where our garage was. Yeah, that's it really for the sort of first day. And then Terry actually borrowed this truck, absolutely savage truck it was, to do jumps in. So we turned up and he was sort of practicing on this test ramp. And yeah, just testing jumping it on the smaller stuff basically. Lee Bowers was also on the Terry Grant stunt team. Most of you have probably seen him at Santapod. He's an absolutely amazing bike rider. So he was just sort of practicing outside our garage that night, the first night that we got there. Yeah, just having a bit of a play around and making sure the bikes were okay. So we went on to obviously do our practice sessions. We had 2 days to practice. The live action arena was this whole section all the way down the middle of the show. It was absolutely huge, and it was fresh tarmac as well, so it cost an absolute fortune. Bearing in mind that this place didn't even exist, it was just in the middle of the desert, and they've made all this themselves in like a few days. So this is just like Lee and Ames having a bit of a play around while we were practicing. And yeah, we just sort of got as much practice in as we could really. Also run alongside the show was the Saudi Drift Championship. So these guys had turned up and were getting set up ready to compete in their championship.
نحاول ان نحافظ زي ما انتم شايفين. اضطراب جميل بالبدنيه من زيد الهزاع. روعه روعه روعه، ما شاء الله ما شاء الله ما شاء الله.
I think it was this particular shot where we were actually sat waiting for the prince to arrive, so for us to like put on a show for him when he arrived to the show, which was fairly daunting but really good. Some of the sunsets there are absolutely amazing as well. So our part of the show was actually kind of in the middle, so we did get to watch Terry Grant and Lee Bowers do their thing first. But yeah, the butterflies at this point were pretty intense. I was quite nervous in the first kind of shows. But yeah, after our part was the biggest part of the show, which was Terry Grant actually doing the big
Absolutely makes it look so easy.
So I think it's quite hard to actually see the true extent of how big this loop actually is, but it is massive. And he did do it first time, which I was very, very impressed with. So the first time was in front of everybody. And this is the jump. The first time he did the jump in the truck. And here's another shot of me with really big butterflies in my tummy, trying to calm myself down by videoing maybe. And for the show, Jared DeAnder was actually our commentator. So the commentator for Formula Drift in America was commentating us, which was pretty amazing too. Not to mention the crowd as well. Oh my God, the crowd in Saudi Arabia, they absolutely love it. And it made everything so much better that they were just cheering all the time. So there was time a few days in for us to go and have a bit of chill time and actually enjoy the show. So we watched a man get shot out of a rocket, which was quite cool. First time I've ever seen it in real life. And we also got to see... We were quite excited about seeing Monster Jam, to be fair. None of us had seen it before, so we were super excited to watch these guys. Here's just a few more shots from the other 6 days worth of shows that we did, and in those 6 days we performed to I think at least 2 princes and also the King of Saudi Arabia, which was absolutely crazy and a huge experience just to perform in front of such a person. He was like literally so close we could see him whilst we were driving. So one thing that we all absolutely loved about Saudi was on the way to the track on the coach, we got to see these guys every day, the camels in the back of the trucks. That was definitely a highlight of our day. So just between our garage and the live action arena was the Hoonigan Barnyard. Now I've been watching these guys on YouTube and generally the internet for a while and love everything that they do, so it was super cool. I met Nads and Mr. Zachary and they were really, really nice, and obviously I met Hurt as well. And I also got the opportunity to go out with Micah Diaz, which was really, really cool, so there's a video in here of that. But yeah, I love what these guys do. I just love hooning about, doing burnouts, donuts. It's what it's all about for me. So yeah, super high point to meet these guys and hang out with them just for a little while. So our choreographer and guy that's in our ear whilst we're doing our routines is actually Tony Dixon, who owns and drives the Swamp Thing monster truck at Santapod. So he took us over and introduced us to BJ Johnson, who was running the Gas Monkey monster truck in Monster Jam, and he let us sit in it, and climbing up into it was quite interesting. So the show was absolutely massive, and there was so many different areas to it, and this is one which we found really fun, which was a whole room of really high spec simulators all joined together, so we were all racing together, and it was like really cool, and made me want to get a simulator at home, even though our simulator here is nothing like one of those. But yeah, that was really fun, and there was all just different areas to the show. There was also these RC cars as well, which I'm horrendous at, so yeah, I gave up on that pretty quickly. But yeah, it was a really good show, really fun. There's all these things like different stalls and different stands everywhere, so yeah, it was super fun. Just even walking around the show was a real good time. There was a handful of FD drivers there also, and that was Vaughan Gittin just going round in one of the Mustangs, which was really cool to watch. And they did a really cool show with the trophy trucks as well, like donating around a trophy and stuff, which I'll put some clips in here. We were walking over for dinner one night and we saw these guys blastering around, having a bit of practice time as well, which was quite nice. Just waiting to do our routine for Greatest Showman, and yeah, just rolling F1 car past. It's casual.
Faster!
No, gas! Hey!
It's a Ferrari! He's not pushing!
Like four of you chase after him. We're videoing. Someone get it.
We actually ended up running after the Ferrari guys and pushing the car back to the garage with them, which was cool. And we ended up taking all of the Ferrari mechanics out for a passenger ride, as well as some of the guys from West Coast Customs. They were over there and we saw them quite a lot, so they came out with us a few times. We also met, randomly, Tanner Faust whilst we were out getting some coffee and donuts. And of course, Jared Deander was our commentator, so it was really nice to meet him too. And a little bit different, we also went and found some camels. We're in the desert, so there was plenty of them about, so we went and found some and had a little stroke of them. All over the event was these amazing sort of areas where they were showing cars, and there was a worldwide auction there as well. So here's just a few of the cars that I took pictures of. I've got tons on my phone, but I can't put them all here, so it's just a few of my favourites. obviously we were still there to do a job, so here we are, some more clips of us doing our shows and bits and bobs and things. There's not a lot of actual clips of us drifting because obviously we were drifting at the time, so we can't really film at the same time. But here's a few of Terry Grant. So the final clip is just a little one of us doing one of our routines, and just give you an idea of sort of what we were really doing. But there's no sort of amazing footage, unfortunately, that we've got. And I'm sorry that the footage in this video has been a bit like all over the place, hit and miss. I wasn't really filming it with making a video in mind. I was kind of just filming it for myself. So I thought maybe I'd just chuck it together. At least you can see what we were about, what we got up to, and all the fun that we had. And there's obviously a lot as well that I have missed off this video because otherwise it'd end up being hours long. So I'll probably put some random clips on my Instagram story sort of in the next few weeks, I guess. So head over to Instagram and make sure you follow me over there. My name on that is Loza Hinks. So yeah, go over there for a little bit more behind the scenes footage, I guess. That's it for the Saudi video. Hope you enjoyed a bit of something different, and hopefully we're bringing you some actual drifting content really soon. I might do a little walk around on the 350Z or the Z3, maybe even the Z4 quite soon, just to keep us entertained in the meantime. But any likes, comments are appreciated, and obviously if you can please subscribe to the channel, and then you can see the future videos. Thank you. Bye.